Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector, and after the past 2 weeks of reviews, I have yet another Transformer from Season 3 and the 86 movie. Sort of. This is not the original. This is the 2008-2009 re-release of Galvatron. Yeah, Universe Classics 2.0, whatever you want to call it. And the GLAV 25 Galvatron, and that's to symbolize the 25th anniversary of Transformers from that year. Yeah, and it says it on both sides of the turret. Sorry about the glare. I do kind of need the lights on so things will be clear, otherwise they'd be really dim. Here's so you can read it. He does not have treads. He has these little orange rolly wheels at the bottom. And yes, that missile here goes into his turret. Doesn't really launch that far. Let me try to go a bit back. You can just see the little tip there. And yeah, it's kind of a hair trigger thing. So I'm just going to leave this little orange neon missile out for the rest of the review. Okay, where to start? The turret does rotate 360 degrees. It cannot be raised up or lowered at all. It has this little tiny missile pod thing which can rotate. It can turn 90 degrees. It can turn in, can turn out, and can flip 90 degrees, and that's about it. And now let's get down to the actual figure. Transforming him. Now, there are a couple of problems with this. I'm not sure if you can see them right out right away. But the front doesn't really look all that... Well, to me, it doesn't look like it's all that stable. That's because I've left him in his robot mode so long that his vehicle mode is... And basically his vehicle mode is just a giant brick. And is it stable? No, whatever. Well, I'm going to turn him into robot mode anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, unclipping this, and on the other side as well, because this is... they clip in there really tight. And flip this back piece up, because this is important. Do not forget this. Turn the cannon onto its side or something, because I am pulling out the legs. These can't go down yet. It's been a while since I've actually fiddled with him, because I just put him on a shelf, because I really... you'll see why. Let's see, fold the feet out and down. Fold the feet out and down. And now you pull these little sections towards you so you can fold the heel down. Or what you can call a heel. Just fold all this crap up or something in this back flap thing. Lord, I hate this arm. Yeah, his fusion cannon arm, which is also his turret, never likes to cooperate. Ever. And there, wow. It's actually cooperating. And I probably just jinxed it by saying those words in that order and in that sentence. So you fold it down and around, and you pull it around like so. As for this crap, it will be moved as soon as you can figure out a way to slot this in place without it coming off the hinge. Jeez. See, this is why I don't like this figure. Good. Ah, I had to fold it back up again. Let me show you. This folds in and pushes in like so, and it didn't come off. Huh. Now, there are these little parts here, these little weird feet thing. I may end up going back into his, like I'll show you in a little bit. You know what? No. I'm going to show you it now. Because it's kind of like a halfway between robot and vehicle mode anyway. And since we're kind of at that point, I'm just going to show you now. With the arm, you just put it back the way it was. Sort of. This is not included in the instructions either. This is, rather, it is not. This is kind of like that gun arm trick that I showed last week with Cyclonus. This is an unofficial, and yet strangely official, third mode that Galvatron came with. Although it is kind of backwards. Basically, you pull out those little leg things and try your hardest to make sure that this extremely loose front piece doesn't go flying out. And then, if you manage to do it just right, which I did not because the leg fell off, and trust me, this is a lot harder than it looks. Ah, and it would have helped if I actually turned this entire back piece all the way around. Ah, yes, this completely helps. This toy was originally going to be a Voyager class, you know, so it could fit in with the same leagues with Megatron and Optimus Prime and such. But because of budget, they made him a deluxe. However, the people at Hasbro managed to sneak in this little mode as an extra, I suppose. Or rather, it was just leftover parts from an unfinished idea. And this is the result. A kind of... What is that? Is that a Metal Gear? Metal Gear! Wait, I shouldn't say that. Wait, it's not a Metal Gear. It is not. Wait, crap, I said it again. Ah, it's not staying stable, though. This little piece pegs in, I hope. Oh, regardless, it kind of gives him this Parts just love falling off on this guy. He has this quadruped all-terrain tank mode. And as you can see, it doesn't like to stay upright because of one stupid little peg. I should probably add some super glue on there, let it dry so when I plug it in, it won't go flop, 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 fall apart everywhere. This mode is just like an extra toss-in. It wasn't actually meant to be in here, but enough parts of it existed to where you could make it like this. Again, he was meant to be a Voyager, and this was going to look way better than it does now. I would have liked to see it, but instead we just get a regular tank. And believe it or not, his alt mode is a real Israeli battle tank. Which is funny, because Leonard Nimoy did his voice originally. And Leonard Nimoy is Jewish. No, that's bad. That's bad even from me. I'm sorry about that, everyone. I'm sorry. I hope I did not offend anyone with that. And again, this is why I hate this toy. Well, I don't really hate it. When I when I originally got this toy, I had so many high expectations. It's Galvatron. But then when I actually got it and unboxed it and the parts started falling off, like they have been, I just... His arm just fell off, ladies and gentlemen. Again. And it's not the arm I've been counting on that's been falling off. Usually the turret arm falls off, but no, it's been the other arm and the leg. Oh, let me get his backpack set before I get this arm pegged in place, so it can fall off in a completely different manner. Just ugh. Flip that around, and there! He actually has an arm that doesn't fall off every 5 minutes, or during transformation. Just peg it on there like that, and hope to God it doesn't fall off. And yay! Now you flip this thing, and he has this useless little clip. I have no idea what this clip is supposed to be for. Haven't figured it out yet. And you pull his arm down, pull out his fist, turn it around, and finally you pull this section down, push up, and again this is relying on friction. It doesn't clip into place, and there you have Galvatron in robot mode. Just barely standing up because he has so much crap that makes him want to fall over backwards in the worst feat ever. I mean, unless you're... Here! Stand up straight! Stand up straight! Ha! Wow. In order to make him stand up straight, I had to bend his feet in. That's sad. I mean, unless you're going for a complete Transformers movie figure set, I have got to... And unless you find one that isn't just complete and total crap, like mine, I can't really suggest this figure at all. Usually I just leave him in robot mode and put him on a shelf and forget about him because of all these problems. Now, I really don't want to pick him up again because then I'd have to put him back down and get him stable. And I'm going to just show you anyway. He has a ball-jointed shoulder, which you probably saw after the shoulder fell off. He has a double-jointed elbow. And that flippy wrist and the bicep swivel. He has a jointed head that can go 160 degrees and even sink back into his own stomach. Yeah, it's a rotating socket joint, which doesn't like to stay in the socket. This joint exists mostly due to transformation, and another transformation-laden thigh joint, or thigh swivel. The thigh joint also has to do with transformation, but it gives a good amount of articulation, same in the other leg. Now, this elbow is semi-double jointed, but not enough to where you can get a lot of movement out of it. And the shoulder is not on a ball joint. You can't move it out, but you can move it around 360 degrees if the backpack doesn't get in the way. The cannon is also on a ball joint, once its own independent ball joint. You can make it stick outward without having to move the entire arm, or turn it backwards to fire at people who don't think he can aim backwards. And he also has a waist joint. And again, I'm not really showing off too much about this figure because of all the trouble you just saw him give me, and now he's standing up on his own. He's doing this to smite me. But of course, we always knew Galvatron was a psychopath and just downright crazy. This toy, mine in particular, proves that fact all too well. I'm going to back him up a bit, and as a height comparison, which I haven't really done a lot, you have his second in command, which he enjoys berating and beating the crap out of on a regular basis. I meant basis. And his other trooper, who also seems to be back heavy, whom he also uses as a kind of stress cushion or stress ball. Only instead of a ball, it's a bag, and instead of stress, he punches him. So there, you have that. And all three of them have different colored light piping in their eyes. And again, I didn't think to bring my flashlight over. Galvatron has orange piping, Cyclonus has red piping, and Scourge has blue piping. And no, there's no flashlight near me. Oh, wait, there is. Hold on. I'll be right back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. And here's the Super Uber Light. Hopefully you'll be able to see this without too much glare. Nope, my mistake. And there's the orange light piping in his eyes. I hope. Yeah, there it is. Wow, he didn't fall over. The red piping in Cyclonus's eyes. I'm not putting it directly on them. Putting it in such a way the light will make them glow. And Scourge's eyes, which are disappointingly blue and not in the least evil looking. And you're not seeing any of that? Yeah. That's their height comparison. Right there. And again, I actually prefer him and him over him. And this is because of all the trouble that you saw him give me. And no, I wasn't actually trying to demonstrate all the trouble he was giving me. That was actually all him. So, of the three figures, if you want the complete set, by all means, go out, find Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus, and get all three of them. But if you just want Decepticons, just get these guys and have them stand next to Megatron. Because I think it's time to bring in I think it's time to take a break from Decepticons for a while and show you a few more Autobots before we get into the big, juicy stuff. Well, that's it for this week. This has been Game Collector. I hope you have a great weekend. Later.